Come on, Bella. Let's go tell a story. Come on. Hey, everyone. I wanted to tell you a little story about something that happened to me recently that I thought was very interesting. Not really surprising because of the nature of humans, but kind of disappointing. Like, very disappointing. Okay, so I was riding my bike past a little cafe, and I saw a man and a couple of his friends playing guitar and singing, so that always attracts my attention. So I stopped my bike and I said, "Hey guys, what's up?" And they're like, "Hey, come and sit down with us." So we're just playing and singing, and so I was like, "Okay, cool." So they were older gentlemen, probably in their early 70s, and we ended up talking a little bit about veganism. And the gentleman, John, he said that he was very Christian, and I said, well, Christians should all be vegan because you don't believe in hurting others. I said, for example, you should absolutely stop also with dairy and with eggs. And he said, after quite a while of us talking, he said, "You know what? I'm going to make a promise to you. I'm going to promise to you right now that I'm never going to eat eggs or dairy products ever again." So I said, okay. And I said, "You know what? Let's exchange numbers and you can tell me how that's going." So we exchanged numbers and we didn't really contact each other for a couple of weeks. And then randomly out of the blue, I called him and I said, "Hey, John, how's it going?" And he said, "I haven't eaten any eggs or any dairy products since we met." And I said, "Wow, that's pretty cool." And then we ended up chatting a bit and said, "You know what, let's just meet and bring a guitar." So he brought his guitar, brought my ukulele, and we met again at the outdoor cafe in the village. And then we started talking some more about all kinds of other things that we had in common. But he's quite a religious man, and so religion is always kind of a red flag for me. I find that most everyone who's religious has disappointed me and ended up being a little bit crazy or mean, basically not following what their books tell them to do, completely inconsistent, hypocritical. But I like to think of myself as somebody who has an open mind and is willing to find the best in people. And my husband often says, "Well, you're actually optimistic to a fault. You've got to learn that people are really cruel and they're not going to change, etc." So I was at this meeting, and we were sitting there and chatting, and I had my little ukulele on my lap, sort of tinkering away. And we're talking about different things. We talked about politics. We talked about gun control. We talked about abortion. We talked about right-wing politics, left-wing politics, and different people that we follow on YouTube and so on. So the conversation was pretty good. It was very sane, and we were just talking. And then I said to him, I'd like to try to encourage you to take this next step, which is, it's great that you stopped eating dairy and you stopped eating eggs. I'd like to really encourage you to go to the next step and to plan when you're going to stop eating meat. I said, you could start to phase it out between now and the next few months. Right now it's July, so it could be September or maybe by Christmas. Start to Google recipes and everything. And he said, "Hold on, I got to stop you right there." I said, "Okay." And he said, "It's never going to happen." I was like, "Okay, why do you say that?" And he said, "Because I have a wife, we've been married for 45 years, and she would stop cooking for me." I said, "And?" He said, "Well, that just won't work." I said, "Well, okay. First of all, you don't know, maybe your wife, when she sees the documentaries and she sees what's happening," he says, "I'm going to stop you right there." He says, "She's not going to watch them. She's not interested in that. I know her." He said, "This is something I did on my own, the dairy and the eggs, because I don't see that as interfering in our relationship, but that's as far as I'm going to go." So I was kind of I didn't know what to say. I thought, how can this Christian man who was trying to drag me into his religion, he's always reading Bible passages, and I sat there listening to them, always trying to find some sort of thing that I might be missing. And he said, well, I don't want to fight with her. And I said, well, maybe it won't be a fight. Maybe you'll just ease her into it. And started explaining, say, honey, I stopped eating eggs, I stopped drinking milk and cheese, and we have these vegan products in the house now, and I'm gonna start to gradually phase out some meats. But don't worry, honey, I'm not gonna do it overnight, but I'm gonna start to Google some recipes, and I'm gonna start to learn how to cook a few simple things. This is what I was saying to him. And he's like, no, that's just, I'm just not interested in that. And I said, but look, and I brought him back to religion. I said, look, if Jesus was sitting here with us right now and he heard you saying that, what do you think that he would say? Wouldn't he try to encourage you to stop paying for the rape, the torture, the confinement, sadness, betrayal, and murder of all of these innocent animals, how they suffer by the billions on factory farms? And he said, yeah, I saw the little video clip that you sent me. It's just pretty, it's horrible. And I said, no, he said it was disgusting. That was his word. It's disgusting. I said, what do you mean disgusting? Like disgusting to watch, like blood and gore? Or do you mean like horrible? Like it gave you a terrible feeling? And he said, oh, it was just, I don't want to talk about it, he said. So the reason I'm telling you this story is that I ended up saying to him, okay, so let me get this straight, John. What you're telling me is that you are an evil man. And he was like, and I'm like, well, how else would you define yourself to Jesus who is sitting here? Jesus would absolutely want you to do the least harm and to start to make steps towards becoming vegan, to start phasing out these animals and gradually adding lentils and beans and chickpeas and tofu and everything else in the store except dead animals in your shopping cart. And he didn't know what to say, so he started, fiddling around and stuff. And I said, well, I guess that's it then. And I stood up and I left after having called him a cruel man because he was too cowardly to care beyond himself and his own taste pleasure and to risk this imaginary conflict that he would have with his wife without even ever testing the waters a little bit. And even still, one could argue that if you have a conflict with somebody, no matter whether you've known them a day, a week, 10 years, or 45 years, if you have a conflict about something so fundamental, if you're not able to stay and grow together through that, then maybe it is time to split. If the person is bringing death into your home and not honoring your ideas, your commitment to try to be a better person, a better human. So, I thought I would tell you that story. And just wondered what you guys thought about it. Although I know what most of you are going to say. You're going to put a bunch of meat emojis down below, and you're going to say, mind your own business. You're going to say, who cares about the animals and all this stuff. But, never mind you people who are psychopaths, sociopaths, and just completely unable to think beyond yourselves at all. I'm talking about the rest of you. Those of you who actually are sane, who actually have some idea of what being brave is about, who actually have some kind of a heart still beating in your chest. What do you think? What can you do to make this world a little bit better starting today? What kind of things are you going to put in your shopping cart? How can you start to make these differences, to learn a little bit and open your heart to the others, to the victims? How can I get you to think about them? Well, I'm going to once again recommend that you watch the documentary Dominion. You go by Googling or just typing in the search bar, watchdominion.com. It's 3 words, watchdominion. I don't know if com's a word, but anyway. So do you remember it? watchdominion.com. Type it in there and just watch that. Take a notepad and write down all of the animals that you see and what humans do to them. And then come back here to this channel and tell me how you felt. Now, I know a bunch of you are going to say that you watched it and you never actually did, and you're going to say, I looked at it and I laughed, but okay, we're not going to look at those marginal people who are insane, who have nothing else to do, who simply are here just to troll because they are just crazy or whatever. Okay? Talking about the rest of you. People who are actually sane and somewhat kind. Have a look at the video. Have a look at the documentary. And then come back and talk to me. I want to thank you all for being here today. If you like this video, if you think this channel has value, please like and subscribe and press the notification bell and help me to get the animals out of hell and make this heaven on earth, whether you're religious or not. Thanks so much. Coming up on screen are going to be a bunch of other videos. I'm going to let you guys watch them and walk away here. Please click on them, have a look around. There's over 1,600 videos to look at. Thanks for being here. Bye for now. Let's follow that vegan teacher on YouTube right now. Let's help her save every chicken, pig, and cow. Let's follow that vegan teacher on YouTube right now. Let's put our empathy into